Greetings, travelers. It's me, Winghaver Gimble, famous gnome bird. I'm here today to talk to you about the great kingdom of the Arcanium. Now, there are many kingdoms in this land, 20 to be specific, but none hold the magical potential quite like the Arcanium. You see, when all of the species immigrated to this land, this newly created utopia, a few of the High Elves decided to come to this place, the magic speaking to them. They carved out great tunnels all underneath the land, chiseling in ancient spells that would be able to help the future people. But as they lived here and worked, more and more, the magic kept absorbing into their bodies until it shattered both their minds and physical forms, leaving only beings of pure light. They were later on known as the Luminous. The Luminous set up the building blocks for this kingdom, the Arcanium, creating grand universities and funneling themselves into the research of magic and magical creatures and inventions. Other species from all over the tendrils flock to these lands, wishing to learn more, wishing to gain magical knowledge and bring it back home to others. But unfortunately, as the popularity grew in the Arcanium, others began to fear them. They saw them not as a place of learning or a place of great inventions. They saw them as a threat, a potential menace. Spell pollution was beginning to leak out of the Arcanium. Strange creatures were being birthed there and unleashed upon the world, all for the sake of research and magical science. Many people disliked this and formed great armies, ready to march upon the Arcanium. The headmasters of every university gathered that day. As the armies marched upon them, they looked to one another and knew what they had to do. They joined hands and chanted a forbidden spell that was found in the ancient tunnels that were carved below thousands of years ago by the elves before them. They cast the great spell shield. A shield formed, this dome spreading all around the Arcanium, blocking enemy soldiers from coming in. And as long as the sages stood, as long as there was always these members of the universities, this spell will not fall. But should the council be no more, then so shall the spell. The Arcanium is home to amazing creations. Many people from across the tendrils come here to try to learn to invent new and wondrous things, whether it's a magical device that will make the perfect toast, or perhaps they're trying to create another grand flying machine so they can go up there to the spear guard and talk to the great machine to show off the new invention, potentially as a kind of a job application, if you will. Most resources exported from the Arcanium are of magical significance, whether they be spell components, magical inventions, or even just wizards themselves. Often enough, people will hire specialists from the Arcanium to come help out their kingdoms. Another tidbit about the Arcanium is the grand universities. There are 8 grand universities, all based after the schools of magic. There's the University of Evocation, located in Evocatia, the capital. There's the University of Necromancy, also located in Evocatia. The University of Illusion is located in Illusio. The University of Enchantment is located in Enchantland. The University of Transmutation and Abjuration are both located in Transmutia. The University of Divination, located in Port Divinarium. And the University of the Conjuration is located in the surface city of the Conj. These grand universities make up the ruling system of the Arcanium. Each headmaster of the university is passed on the Great Spell Shield signature, as they must hold this spell together, and also are the people in charge of making most of the largest decisions in the Arcanium. So going to school isn't just about learning, it's also about getting your foot in the door to politics, as most people in these schools are also involved in such. An unfortunate side effect of all this grand magical creation, invention, and innovation is the magical pollution that exists in the Arcanium. Often enough, great storms will arrive, casting random spells, and the kingdom needs to send out cleansers to go out and try to cancel these spells before they cause too much havoc, creating creatures, summoning demons, or even just burning down houses. Sometimes it's something as harmless as rain that will change the color of things or the taste of food. Other times it could be something as malevolent as turning people into giant slugs that just crave flesh. It really depends on the day of the week, but these cleansers are often the people that are called in to try to dispel the spells that are going on due to magical pollution. The last little bit of information I'll give to you about the Arcanium, other than the amazing blueberry pie you can get there, is the Warped Woods. You see, when the Great Spell Shield went off, this was an amazing win for the people of the Arcanium, but unfortunately, there was also a great drawback. The magical pollution that echoed from the spell shield, it was mostly absorbed by the sea, but unfortunately, some hit the woods that led into the Enclave of Terror, the kingdom next door. The woods there were suddenly twisted and warped. Trees began growing at strange angles, the leaves all fell off every single one of them. You could hear the screams of 1,000 fae and elves from the forest. As their bodies were mutated, they were turned into these malicious creatures. Those affected, they became gruesome, twisted versions of themselves, completely devoid of color and seeking to rip the life out of beings who didn't belong. They developed incredibly powerful necrotic abilities, allowed them to drain the very soul from a being, allowing them to grow in strength. When such a being dies from this fate, even Zirkus, the demigod of the dead, is not able to shepherd the soul back. The Warped Woods is now strictly forbidden for anyone to enter aside from cleansers or wardens. Some merchants don't heed this warning, and even though the lands are forbidden, they decide to often brave the trails, hiring adventurers and guards to protect them along the way. Honestly though, wouldn't recommend it. Well, that was our quick information session on the Arcanium. I hope you all enjoyed your time here at my Inn of the Seven Dice. Alright, time for me to go get a drink. I bid you all adieu.